Yeah, I'm live. Okay, great. Now everything is working out, so we can start. Let me just do this. Great. Okay, so that's it. That's it. And now if I go here on my own channel, let me just, yeah. Okay, I'm live. Great. One watching, and that is me. So we can now let me just say, let's see if I'm on Twitter. Okay, great article. Yeah, I'm okay. Let's copy it out. Whoa, what's going on? Let me close this. Let me also close the email. And then what's now? What's wrong with this? So I'm streaming and my MacBook is slower. Okay, so live for about 30 minutes. Watch me code my what shall I say? Watch me code that's WordPress plugin. Okay. Okay, tweet it out. I'll check the notification later. Oh, failed. Update now. Okay, that shouldn't be too long, so I'll update it right away. What's streaming? Yeah, let's do the 0.4 update because the 0.3 for 0.9.3 did actually create the bug where the automated WordPress update won't work. Installation failed, could not create the directory. Okay, so probably I have a simple, let's go here, and since I'm local and this won't ever go live, so I'll just do something that you should never do. Okay, let's make sure. Okay, and now if I go here, let's see, maybe I've done it now. Let's see. Whoa. Okay, it seems to work. Yeah. Now I'll start actually working on it. So I'll be here about 30 minutes or so, not too much. And I'll go with continue with the pets plugin. So what I wanted to do now, let's go over the code a bit and see. So the pets now is here. We have the taxonomy. The pets should be available. Let me just check. Is it? Page not found, probably because of the permalinks. So let's save it and then let's check it out again. But it does not work. Let's do it like this. Post name, save it. Let's try one more time. Great. So now our custom post types are working. So now we can go on. So what I want to do is when I want to add one or edit one, I want to have, so we have the colors, the breed, we have featured image, that's fine, but I also want to add here something here, and that is to define some other specific stuff. And since I can't just assume that you will have a dog site, or you will use this plugin for horses, or I want to make it as dynamic as possible, so you can configure the fields on your own. Okay, so these are the fields, and we actually don't have anything yet here. And what I want to do here, I want to use a custom table to save those fields. So in these 30 minutes I'll try to create a table that will work for those fields. We still won't have everything, but for now let's do that. Let me just check if I have the PHP admin. Here it should be here, and it should have the pets database. Great, so this is it. So we have a pets database. Great. And now I want to continue working on this. So the database, actually we want to go, well, I won't go now into some other let's say in admin parts. I wanted to have that in the general includes folder. So let's say that we have a new file, which is, and it will be called, let's save it as class pets what should fields db, let's call it like that. So now we know that it does have something to do with pets, the fields, and the database. And since we are using the namespace pets, I'll also use here the namespace, but I will use it a bit differently. So this is a database, so actually let's create a new folder and call it db, like that. And now I can copy that here, and I'll just paste it here and save it. And now let's call it the class pets fields db php, use php, and then we'll remove this file. Great, so now we have here, and we will also make a subclass which is db. So we know that this class will actually be used only for database parts. Okay, so the first thing is what class, and now we can say just fields. We can call it just fields. Why? Because we are inside the paths, we are inside the database sub namespace. So we now know that we have this the sub namespace that will define how our class will work. So since this is under the database, we will know that this class is actually used to work with the database. Okay, so now I'll say just a simple fields database class definition, nothing else. If you have time, you can always define it more information, always put more information. Let me just see if somebody else is watching this, and so I can, let's move that on the other screen. Yeah, so if you have any questions, you can always ask them in the chat, and I will try to check it and see if somebody is asking something, right? Okay, let's go back here. So the first one will be a static function which will be called install. Okay, Now if I go here and if I include it, so I'll say this and then db and then use the fields db, although I could delete this db now, right? Let's do this. Let's make it a more cleaner, and I'll also say here database classes, and then I'll rename this without this suffix, like that. So now we know that this is inside the database folder. Okay, and let's do the install. So whenever I'm actually working with this, I'm not I don't always know what to do here, right? So if I'm going to install it, then probably I'll go and check on some other big plugins such as WooCommerce or stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, you can do it yourself, but sometimes it's much easier to check on how things are done from some, let's say, better developers also, because I do believe the WooCommerce guy really know their stuff. So I'll just go here with the WooCommerce includes, and let's go where it is. I think it's somewhere here. Let me just check. Yeah, install. So how do they install their stuff? Yeah, I'm not going to go into that, not even into that. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Here it is. Oh, they're also using the static one. Great. I even didn't know that they were doing that. So what do they do? I will just use it for installing our database, where it is. So they are doing this, create tables. So they're doing that. Then they're using the database delta, which is inside here, and they're using another method to get all the tables, and the tables are here. So now I'm not going to go into much detail as they do for now. Okay, so wow, wrong. So I'll just copy that here. I'll remove this, which could be modified due to shell update. Yeah, I don't care about that for now. And get schema. So are we going to use that? Well, why not? So public static get schema. I think I'm saying it correctly. Okay, so now we are getting the schema. Let me open the WooCommerce part again, and let's see what they do. Okay, they are doing a lot of these tables. I'm actually just gonna use, let's say, this, and then I'm going to go back to our here. So this is a private one. Let's also make it private, like that. Okay, and then return tables. For now we don't have any, but let's go here, and you can, if you don't know how to do, I recommend you to read some MySQL part, but for just general stuff, let's just use, let's say, this, and then I'll copy that here, like that, and then we will say that R is pet fields, like that. There will be an ID which will auto increment it. The primary will be the ID. Another key, we don't have another key. I don't think we need that. Then what else? So let's now think about how to structure the table. So the field will be an ID, then we will also have title, and actually I don't think we need a text. I think it's something like that is enough. So if we say 200 characters, I think that's really enough for a title, and probably nobody will create a field name with more than 200 characters, but that's just an assumption, of course. And we'll set it to not null. Then what else? Should we have a type? We could have a type. So maybe we could have a type, and that type can also be word. Let's leave it like that, not null. And we'll define what type it is. It can be radio, it can be, I'm not sure, another a text one or something like that, because we aren't actually using anything here else. We're not putting any values here. The values will be put in other fields, and that will also the values will be related to one path, so one custom post type, and that's how we are going to do it. So we have a title, we have a type, we don't have a value. Should we have something else? Maybe if it's a radio button, so we have a radio, we should have choices. So let's put in here, let's put some meta. Meta will be text, like that. Let's see how WooCommerce did it with text not null, and that's all. Yeah, so we did like that, but our can be null because maybe we have a meta part, but for text type we actually don't need any meta, but let's leave it like that. So this meta can store various stuff. This meta can be used to store just the answers for a radio button choices. This meta can be used for, I'm not sure, placeholders or anything we want. We can put that inside the meta. Okay, so this is it. And of course, maybe I'm completely wrong now, right? I didn't think about that earlier. And of course, you can always refactor your table once you start working. Be sure to test everything before you even push it on your live plugin. And whenever you do some big changes to the database structure, do test everything, and then also create some upgrade functions such as the WooCommerce have, where you are upgrading based on the version. So you have here, so if you are upgrading to from a version lesser than 2.0, then you will get each function called. These are the function names, and they will proceed with upgrading your site and the structure of your database and the mapping of fields and everything else. So for now, we will do it like this. Okay, so where to install it? Where to call this? If I'm not wrong, WooCommerce actually does do that. Sorry about that. In an activation class. Let me just check and see if it's so this is the main one, and I'll just search activation, and you see they are registering an activation hook on this file to this part, and we can actually do that also. So let's see. we have the fields, we have paths, includes, hooks, right? Includes, and within hooks we can actually say init. Okay, and this will be another, we can say it even it's public function or private, and this function initialize classes, settings, or anything else. So this this method will be called before the hooks. So inside the hooks, sorry about this. So inside the hooks we are actually calling some of this, and inside init we can actually do something else, something that is not related, maybe the hooks or something like that. So the init is here, and actually we could have then this admin part where we load it, we can actually place it here like that. Of course we don't have the this one, the file is the current one, and then our this is here, and since we are using that, we will probably have to use also this. Why? Like that. Why? Because in the main file we are under this namespace, so we could call it like that, or we could say use and then use paths db and then fields, and then just call it below with fields. But I'm not going to do that here, I'm just going to use it like that. And now we can actually go and test this. Let's see, go to plugins, let's see if we have any errors. Probably no. Okay, let's deactivate it. Oh, come on. Okay, and let's try to activate it and see what will happen. To generate unexpected, try to activate or removing this plugin. Okay, so we have some errors. Let's go to this one. Get schema is here, global is global, global's here. That's it. So why if I don't hide the error? Let's see what will happen. Let's remove it, let's activate it, and let's see what will happen then. Do we have any? We don't have anything here. Not sure why. Let's refresh our database and see if we actually have the table created. I guess we don't, but maybe, yeah. So now we don't have this this table created. Well, that's actually great, because now we can debug the actual what's wrong with it, right? So we can now debug it and see what's going on. So let's say that I'll just var dump vpdb, and I think it's last error, so we get the last error right away. Okay. Also I want to check if my vp debug is on. Yeah, it is. Okay, and let's now try and see what's going on. So that is during. Let's try to activate it again. Unexpected output during activation. Why don't I get that? So it's file and db fields, right? It's fields install public static install. Okay, comment is here, 0, comma. Everything seems okay, but actually, as you can see, it's not okay. And I'm not sure why. When you don't know, first probably, in most cases, the probably it has something to do with the actual table, right? Yeah, and also let's see, we have it here. Okay. Let's see what's wrong. Well, the best thing to do to check it out, let's say that I want to call it like this on init. So on each load, let's see what will happen. Something will have to happen. Okay, we don't get anything here in pets field, so no error. And we actually have that. Okay, so that's a different, the SQL is fine, but of course I don't want this to be here because I want this to work through the actual install here. So this does work, but I guess the actual array won't be called with namespaces. So something with namespaces. Okay, let's see if fields will work. I'm sure it won't. It shouldn't actually. Okay, so yeah, and that's how you debug. You try various types of what you think you could go wrong, and then you just go and go and go. Some errors are pretty easy to fix, some are not, and I'm not sure, since my WP debug is on, I'm not sure why I don't get the errors here. Okay, so we still have it. And what if I say pets db field? Maybe even because I didn't put something like that here. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not really sure, but let's see. Maybe it's that. And if not, then Google is your friend. Google is your best friend, or Bing if you want to use that, but I always use Google when I search for such problems. Okay, we have another error, but now there are only 270 characters. So it's still not working. And let's see. So when you don't know what to do, let's go here with namespace. Okay, so some other folks already got such problem probably. Okay, if I'm seeing correctly, it actually worked because I'm seeing the table here. So let's see what. Let me just remove this, not that, yeah, drop. Okay, let's see. Oh, maybe even that, yeah, it could be even that. So it should work without issues, but on some servers maybe you should use this to actually use the global function, although PHP is smart enough to always trigger the global if they don't get any method or function under the namespace where we are currently in. Okay, so yeah, they are saying use this, use it like that, and we actually did write that. So we have pets, and then we have the pets db and fields. So that's it, this is it. Let's go. Okay, it's removed, and let's do one more try. Wait a minute, I probably, yeah, I was war dumping this, and that's probably the reason the previous error is the previous notice here as an error is called. That's because of my war dump. Sorry about that. So now if we activate it, we should have everything working without any errors. Yep. Okay, let's refresh this. And let's see. So great. So now we have that. We have this. And now how can we actually get some new data here? So how to actually use this class to provide some data for us. So we have the views, main is here, yeah. And if you don't know about this and how I build that here, be sure to check the previous live stream for my pets plugin. Okay, so only field. And now if you don't know how to do use the WP list table, you should probably check on that. There are various articles on that. Since I think it's almost 30 minutes past and I soon have to go, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do this now, but let's see. Let me just go over it. So yeah, you always do check some of the various tutorials that are that will show you how to do that. So let's see if Pippin did that on its own, and I actually don't want that. I want this where it is. So yeah, I'm mostly using the from the site point, this list table. Let me just see. Okay, and then when you use that, you get everything here with a nicely styled table that is all familiar to your users. Okay, so let's see. So the first thing is this, right? Let's then go here and let's say, so if we don't have a class like that, then require once this. Oh no, so this is our actual our database, and this is something else. And actually since we are using that inside our table, we can actually create a new class. We can put that here and we can save it. And how should we save it? We can save it as class pets fields table php. Okay, and now let's say that list table for fields. Okay, and now we will also use the namespace pets. Okay, and we can, since this is in the admin part, we can actually subname sub namespace, add the sub namespace admin, because we are also using here. Okay, then we are doing that, and then we can copy also this part. So this is it. Great. Yeah, you could actually build this yourself just by looking at the WP list table and see what you can do or not. Fields table, like that, and then we can use the field, and then we can use fields here. We won't use the Ajax for now. Okay, so this is it. And then what can we do? So let's also create a function for the get. They are using the get customers, but of course we don't have to use that. We can just use our own. Let me just go here, and we'll just use get, let's say, get fields. Okay, retrieve fields data, like that, from the database. So we have our own. This is in a SQL, so we could extend now our database to get them, but just for testing it out, we can do it like that, and then we should actually remove all that and do this inside here and prepare this table, and I'll probably do that somewhere in a future live stream. So yeah, we have the get fields. Now everything's here, order by, great, and yeah, okay, we have now that. And so if you don't know how this works, you can always go to WP admin, includes, and then try to find the list table. Here it is. I'll just like that, and then we can close this and this because we don't need that anymore. And now we can go through various parts, how they are done, what to do, what can we do. So I think so this is the prepare items in one must be overridden in subclass. So we have to do that. And if we go through here, okay, they also delete one. Should we? Yeah, of course, we could have that method here. So we go back to here, and then let's create the delete one. So let's delete field, pass fields, and then where our ID, we have small ID. Okay, what's next? Record count. Okay, let's use that also. So record count. Okay, so yeah, basically you see I'm just copying it out. I'm just reading the code, copying, because this is something that that I actually don't want to learn and remember, because I can always get it from online, right? No fields available, and then we can say here it's our paths text domain. Okay, and then what else? So the column name method, column default. Yeah, so these are some of the what can we do. And then we have the prepare items. and this is here. Okay, prepare items. Do we actually have these column headers? I'll remove it for now. Process bulk action. Let's check if this is something that is done here. I don't think so. Yeah, so this is something that is also done by hand, if you want it or not. For now I don't want that. Customers per page. Per page is, so we have this per page. Fields per page. I'll just put it fields per page, although I don't think we have that anywhere. Page num, record count is here, that's fine. Pagination is this, set timestamps is get fields. Okay, and how do we use it? So to use it, we'll just need to use it like that. Prepare items and display. So to use it, I can just go around and use it where it is, here. Okay, and then I can say let's do it like that. So let's do it include apps path, and then we can use it like this, vp content. Yeah, this is not actually a good way. Maybe we could use it with the by using the, sorry about that, like that, and then say class paths fields table php, and then table is new, this one. Okay, like that, and since we are in the same sub namespace admin, it should work. And then we can say table prepare items, and then say table display, and display, like that. And probably nothing will work actually for now. Let's just see what's going on here. No, that's not the page I want. I want this page. Okay, so we have now failed to open stream. Great. Okay, that's fine. So on line 21, and that is it. So now why? Because we are here, although we should go inside the admin part, right? Yeah. So how can we do that? Well, what I like to do, I'm not sure if I already done it, probably have. Yeah, path, like this. And then I'm just going to use it like here and say that, and then say okay, go to admin, and then require this. Yeah, let's see. Will this error go away? And then let's go to what failed to open stream. Okay, let's remove it. Whoops, sorry, accidentally opened my mail. Never mind. Let's refresh it. Will it refresh? Come on. Failed to open stream. Pets, admin class, pets, fields, table. No such file or directory. Okay, so includes, oh sorry about that, includes, yeah. Okay, let's refresh it again. Now we should be seeing here. Okay, get columns must be overridden by subclass. So we need to have the get columns. And now if we go here and we search for the get columns, and we can now see this function get columns. Here, go here, and we can do it like that. Okay, so we have the get columns, which will say title, yeah, title, and type. We can put it like that, and that's it. Type. Okay, let's refresh and see if we have any other. No fields available. Okay, so no fields are available. If we go here and then let's say MySQL is probably here, prepare item is here, get fields, okay, pets fields. Let's see if I am calling this correctly. Yeah, and as you can see, no fields are available. Why? Well, because we actually don't have any fields here. Great. And in the next live stream, I'll have to go now, but in the next live stream, I'll go and see to create the headers here and everything you need to list the fields in a proper way. And then we'll go through one single field and we can then configure or add a new field and stuff like that. So see you in the next live stream.